Welcome to the final episode of Season 1 of Own the Mic. I'm Callie Hendricks, and today we're diving into something that holds so many of us back: the audacity to speak. This episode is close to my heart because speaking up is something I had to learn the hard way. It didn't always come naturally. Sometimes it meant facing rejection, other times it meant risking judgment, and sometimes it was just battling my own doubts. So today, let's talk about what it takes to have the courage, or rather, the audacity to use your voice. Audacity isn't arrogance. It's not about being the loudest person in the room or the one who seemingly knows it all. It's about boldness, choosing courage even when you're afraid, to speak up for yourself or someone else. It's about saying what needs to be said or standing up for what you believe in. When I was younger, I talked a lot. I had no trouble talking to my gran and sharing how my day was or an interesting thing I learned about. At school, I had no trouble talking in class, giving answers to the teacher's questions, or even explaining work to another learner. But on the playground, I was something else, someone completely different. I was quiet, insecure, and scared most of the time. I stood by quietly, waiting to be invited to play. I said nothing when older kids bullied me or took my lunch. At the time, all that mattered to me was that I was doing well in school, and I somehow thought that if I just had that, everything else didn't really matter. I could never speak up for myself in a social setting because I thought I just didn't fit in. I needed someone else to speak up for me. And luckily, someone did, and the bullying stopped. I didn't realize back then it only takes one person to speak up for others to be freed as well. I was yet to find my voice. Most of us start in silence because it feels safer. The fear of rejection, criticism, or not being enough can stop us before we even begin. Some of my earliest memories of speaking in front of people are the blank stares, frowns, and disinterested looks I got as I stood up to campaign for leadership positions. I'd say I had the audacity to stand up there and speak, but somehow my message was not getting through to my audience. I was often met with rejection and disappointment. I remember being so scared and nervous to get up and open my mouth, but I did it every time. I would say a prayer or recite scriptures to remind myself that I can do it. At work, that fear often showed up around the boardroom table during staff meeting. I would get a knot in my stomach before I had to report or give an idea or feedback. I constantly felt like an imposter, that my ideas wouldn't be good enough or I would make a mistake, often leading me to just stay quiet. But the more I did it, every time I did speak up, I got more confident in my ability. And every time I could, I made sure that I prepared and that I was prepared to speak when it was my turn. It wasn't easy, but step by step, I moved myself towards what is now my reality. And that is, of course, Own the Mic. Because even starting this podcast was an act of audacity for me. Putting my voice into the world wasn't easy. It still is not. But I knew if I wanted to encourage others, I had to start with myself. Audacity is about unapologetically telling your truth. Your story can encourage, challenge, or inspire, but only if it's shared. Something I've always felt very vulnerable about was that I didn't follow the traditional career path. As one would have it, you go to school, you go and study for a degree, and then you go and work in that specific field that you chose. I spent most of my 20s working for one organization, my church to be more precise. A job that at the beginning was very far removed from my journalism degree. For the longest time, I felt like I didn't have authority to speak on matters relating to work or career paths because I couldn't connect the dots in my own. But what I've realized in the last couple of months is that I've picked up a number of other skills that have enriched me in ways that writing articles for a newspaper never would have. I learned how to work with people, I learned administration skills, leadership skills, event organization, and later on, more about media, broadcasting, skills that I'm using every day now. And that all of that brought me back, right back to my degree. And I'm so proud to say that now I'm able to use all of that experience to build my businesses and to build this podcast into something great. I now get to help people because of my non traditional path. Speaking up doesn't only happen on big stages, it's also in small moments, asking for what you deserve, setting standards in relationships, and saying no when you mean it. You are speaking up when you set a boundary, when you ask for an opportunity, or when you say no to an opportunity that doesn't quite fit right. You are speaking up when you share about your personal brand online or advertising your business. Every day presents us with multiple opportunities to speak up, and we need to take as many of those opportunities as we can. Every time you speak up, you make it easier for someone else to do the same. Bold voices spark bold voices. Since the days of my I'm a Speaker challenge till now, I've received messages and comments about how much people not only enjoy the videos, but are also learning from them. Me speaking up is helping others to find their voice, and you could do the same for someone else, creating a ripple effect of bolder speakers. It's time for you to take the mic. Say it out loud with me. I have the audacity to speak my truth. Say it like you believe it. Say it like the world is waiting on your voice, because it is. This week, I want to challenge you to do one bold thing with your voice. Share your story, give that idea in a meeting, or finally say the thing you've been holding back. Remember, the mic isn't just for performers or speakers. The mic is life. Every time you use your voice, you're practicing owning it. Thank you for joining me on this journey of season 1 of Own the Mic. This season has been about finding your voice, embracing visibility, and now having the audacity to speak. If these episodes encouraged you, share them with someone who needs that same encouragement. Season 2 is coming soon with amazing guests and deeper conversations. But until then, keep owning the mic because your voice matters.